Okay, so welcome back to the Scaling Scale series. And so, week one, I'm assuming you're here from week one, where we began naming each and every note on the fretboard, and assuming you've kind of got that down, this next part should be easy for you. So, we'll move on to playing an actual scale. All right, so just as we discussed that starting with letters and now we can form words. Now we take those letters and arrange them in a specific way, you get different words. All right, so if we take the notes that we identified on the neck of the guitar, arrange them in a certain order, we get certain scales. So if you were to look at, let's say, the major scale, and there's a fixed formula that gives you the major scale, okay, a fixed set of distances for each and every note in the scale. And if you follow that pattern, note for note, regardless of which note you start on, you get a major scale. So what is that formula? That formula is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay? Tone would be a whole step, a semitone would be a half step. So what does this mean? You see, if you move from one note to the next note, that's the semitone. Remember, G, G sharp. You should have identified that from the skills that you gained in the last video. All right, that's your semitone. G to A, that's a tone, right? A whole tone. So here's our formula that we apply: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now, if we apply that starting on G, you'll get these notes, and I'm going to put them on the screen somewhere. So let's find those notes. So those notes will be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. All right, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. So notice how they always will go in the alphabetical order from the note that you start. This doesn't mean that you have to always play them in that order in the musical sense, but to learn them and arrange them and kind of understand how they're structured on the neck of the guitar, it's helpful to just have that fixed starting point. All right, so I have G. I'm going to start on the E string, the low E string. I have G, okay. I have A, I have B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Now it's a little inconvenient to keep doing that. So I'm just going to find the notes that I can on the next string. So I have G and A. So before I go ahead, I should probably introduce you to the little box concept. The way I like to think about this is I have, let's say I'm using my middle finger, you'll see why, to play the G note. So my first finger, my index finger, is on the second fret, middle finger is on the third, ring finger is on the fourth, and pinky is on the fifth fret. So this is my box. All right, so when I play these shapes, my index finger is always going to play every note that is on the second fret. It's only going to stay in the second fret. My middle finger only on the third fret, ring finger only on the fourth fret, and pinky only on the fifth fret. All right, so now I'm going to find the same notes of my G major scale. So I have G, A, I'm going to go to the next string, I have B, then I have C, then I have D. I'm staying within my box, okay? Then I have E here, I have F sharp, and look at that, G. Remember we did the exercise previously in the last video of finding the next note, an octave up. A scale is just a ladder through an octave, right? It's every note that you play between this G and this G is like a step of the ladder, a rung of the ladder, all right? And so here I go again, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, okay? So that pattern gives me the notes placed at those intervals for my major scale. So here's a way to just remember it. Here's how I remember it. So starting from the E string, 2, 4, so finger 2, finger number 4. 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. And you can play it backwards and forward again. That's your G major scale. Now here's the beauty of this system. If I want to now play the A major scale, all right, and I apply that same formula, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, and I work it out for the A major scale, and I get A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A again, all right? But if I don't want to work that out and find every, note on the neck, just going through that pattern, I'm just going to play the exact same pattern that I did with G, except I'm going to start on A. So I'm going to go move my middle finger to A, remember the box principle. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Let's try it with B. Let's do it with C. You see that? So that pattern starting on the low E string is your major scale pattern. And the same pattern applies for the A string as well. Pick any note on the A string. Let's go with C sharp. Sorry, that was my mistake. But I'm going to leave it in there because these things happen. There we go. More accurate. That was for my, just to make up for those bum notes. Let's go to F. Alright, so you pick any note on the E or the A string and you use that pattern. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Okay, that's your major scale pattern starting from the E and the A strings. Alright, so here's what you can work on this week. Play that pattern on any note that you want. Just pick any note on the E or the A strings and work through it. The next thing that you should do is find the note again. Let's take on the G string, for example, and you know the notes that you need based on that formula, right? The major scale formula. Write it down and work your way through with the same principle, the box principle. Okay, I'll give you a little hint. If you're playing on the G string, if you're starting on the G, you start with your index finger on the note that you want the major scale of. So if I want C, all right, you can pause the video and figure out that pattern, but try that, okay? And I won't do the D string. You can do the D string and try to figure it out yourself, all right? So that's your major scale pattern. And so you can keep going up and down with this. And a very important part is try to find simple melodies within that pattern, because your song melodies are made up, let's say in the key of G, are made up of all those notes in different orders. Let's play it in reverse, for example. G major again. Let's take Joy to the World, Christmas favorite. It's just the major scale in reverse. Right? See this? But if you just play with the timing a little bit, right? You figure out the rest. And it's all within there. Okay? So that's one major scale pattern on G, on the low E and the low A. Okay? The next step that you can look into is connecting octaves. So what does that look like? So I started on C, I go to the next C, all right, to make a longer shape, basically a greater area. So for whatever things I want to explore, or let's say improvisation, for example. Right? Whatever. You can do what you want. That's how it works. All right. So this week, the major scale pattern, right? Figuring out note for note, and also working through the patterns starting from E and A and on the G as well. And figure out how do you do that for the D string, and does any pattern emerge that you can really hold on to. All right, I'll see you the next week.